Welcome back, my zombie peeps, as the Z-Man Show takes you into our part 2 of how to make a zombie film. And there are lots of different ways we could have gone about this, but since one of our users actually asked about makeup in particular, I decided why not, let's go ahead and make that part 2. So with that said, I am going to talk to you guys about 3 different types of makeup that you could choose to use to make up your zombies as you move along into your film. Or even if you just want to do it for Halloween. I mean, it's going to be a great Halloween tutorial as well. Now, there's tons of makeup tutorials out there, but I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going to be the most cost-effective, because if you're like me, I'm an amateur, don't have a huge budget, and I don't have producers backing me. So we got to find out how to do this nice and cheap. So first one I want to talk to you about are grease makeups. So I have them here. As you can see, I've been collecting quite a few over the years. I don't use these as much, okay? And this is going to be your most economical style of makeup. And I'm going to kind of get through these quickly, and then we'll talk about the pros and cons of all of them. So the grease makeups, again, you've probably seen them in little packages like this. You can get them at your local Spirit Halloween shops when they come around. You can find them on the Halloween shops online. Anyways, they are the most economical. You can usually get groupings of this for anywhere from like $6 to $10, and sometimes they come with other things along with them. And also, grease makeups, note, they're easy to clean up. You're not going to have to deal with activators and isopropyl alcohols to try and get those clean, right? You'll just be able to get some soap and some towels and this and that and just kind of get after it and just start cleaning up, right? So that's the good news about grease makeups, okay? But they do look kind of cheap in the end. I'm not saying you can't get a good zombie out of it. I'm just saying you're going to have to work a little harder to make it all come to life and look really solid. So we'll do a test on this in the next video, but right now let's move on to our next makeup style. As I was moving throughout my Dead Nightmare series, I was trying to do research on the different makeups, and I found a set that looked really, really cool, and I saw a lot of people using it, and it was an alcohol-based makeup by Skin Illustrator, okay? But I am not going to lie, guys. This stuff is hella expensive, okay? I mean, just this little kit right here, it was like $65-$70, and I was just like, what? And I mean, as you can see inside here, this is one of the palettes that you can get. This was, I think, just their standard overall professional palette, and you can see these on the different makeup websites. I'll leave some links in the notes below, so make sure to check that out. But you put activator in this, which essentially is like a 99% isopropyl alcohol, okay? And it then starts to dilute it. And that doesn't take a whole lot. So you'll use your makeup sponges, which again, we'll show you in a little bit here, but you'll use your makeup sponges to get this and then start dabbing those colors on, and between layering and everything else, you'll get your zombie. But yeah, this stuff is super expensive. I mean, clearly I haven't gone through all mine yet, and I've had this for a while, but I also started using a different type of makeup most recently in the most recent episodes 5 and 6. So, but note, I mean, again, you have your overall Skin Illustrator one right here. I have also the Necromania one right here. And of course, this one has more colors to kind of get that corpsey type look, or the zombies ones. You got some different kind of weird pale pus looking colors, and a purple bruise color, and yellow as well, or pale yellow for that matter. The blue for the veins and so forth. So it's interesting. Again, I still got some life left in this, and I was able to get through at least 3 zombie shoots off this so far. So I mean, it is a decent investment, but I mean, don't be surprised when you see that price tag, because you're going to be like, holy crap, right? So again, that's Skin Illustrator. You have to use 99% isopropyl alcohol to go ahead and clean up afterwards. So this stuff, it smells like hell, guys. I mean, your actors are going to hate you for it. I'm just going to warn you up front. You're going to have to tell them to brave through it. I suggest getting a fan going in the meantime. Make sure it's blowing on them. It kind of helps dry the makeup as you're moving along too, especially if you're using other things like liquid latex or other things like that. But yeah, isopropyl, you'll have to, the 99%, and it is nasty stuff. But I've never had a problem with it really hurting anybody's skin or so forth. I mean, it does the job, and it does it well. But for those with sensitive noses, get ready for the pain train. So that is Skin Illustrator in a nutshell. And now I'd like to show you the third type of makeup that I'm most recently using on the Dead Nightmare series. So the third type of makeup that I came across, it was random. It kind of came across in an ad, and I was kind of curious about it, so I started looking up some more. And it's by this group called SOBA, Shows Off Body Art, okay? And they sell this spray brushable, liquid that you can use for your zombies. And the smell is so much more pleasant to the noses, and basically it's waterproof, which is amazing. Now, some of the other ones, like the Skin Illustrator I was talking to you about, I found over time, especially if you have really sweaty guys or even gals, whatever, over time it starts kind of loosening the makeup, and it can be a pain to do spot touch-ups just before filming, especially when you're filming in the summer, which is also a pain in itself. So, but this stuff, it is the test of the works. It definitely does its job. To get it off, if you're wondering, so if water doesn't take it off, what does? Well, they suggest that you basically put liquid soap, and then you lather that up, without water, mind you. Lather the soap up, and then start getting that all around, and then you can start adding in the water and towel off all the makeup and so forth. It does definitely work. I also noticed that makeup remover also does a pretty good job as well, but they do recommend the liquid soap. So these come in a variety of different colors, everything from like dirt brown, bruise colors, the zombie colors. I just ordered in a new batch myself. If I can find it here. So here's some of my different ones right here. So I just got in Pale Dead, Old Blood, Swamp Moss, which is kind of a greenish, and then you got the brownish one for the Pale Dead, and the Old Blood. These are ones that I've been using a lot. So this is their hybrid series, and you can find it again on the Soba Pro Air site. You can just Google it. I'll also put a link in the description down below. And yeah, this stuff is pretty cool stuff, guys. Also, though, a little bit on the pricier side. I would not say is as expensive as the Skin Illustrator, but I mean, you get enough colors and you're definitely getting yourself up there. And again, you can apply this with a spray brush, and then they have a little compressor that sprays the air, right, so you can gauge the PSI, and you can get all set up, I think all said and done, for around a couple $100, which again isn't the cheapest. But if you're going to be doing zombies for a little while, or for Halloween, or maybe you're just going to make a business out of it, you're going to need some of this stuff. Now, you don't have to use the spray brushes, because I find they get clogged often, and they just honestly, they're just a big pain in the butt. I use them sometimes, especially like use them around the eyes when you're trying to bring in like the bruise tones around the eyes and they get sunken in. But what I was finding is trying to start using were like kind of like stipple sponges, except not exactly this one. So this one is good, for stippling on blood and other types of makeup effects, even that Skin Illustrator I told you about. You can use this for this too, but I found that there's this like a stipple sponge, I guess, at Home Depot that they sell, and it's for painting. And again, I'll show a picture of it down below so you can kind of see what I'm looking at. But basically, you can rip off pieces of the sponge and then just kind of start sponging on the layers. So this is a new technique. It's one I should have tried a long time ago, but as you're learning, you just kind of come across different videos and different tutorials, and you just kind of learn as you go. So with that said, I would highly suggest the Pro Air, the Soba makeup. It is some really good stuff, and like I said, they come in a variety of colors. I think they have over, I want to say, 18 different colors right now. Either way, guys, it is some really good makeup, and I highly suggest it. So from there, don't forget you're gonna need some fake blood, right? And I don't think you can find this stuff around anymore. My dad actually found this for me at a resale shop. But this stuff, if you find this stuff by Cinema Secrets, it is gold. It's like a blood gel. It is the best looking blood. It looks coagulated, so it's that dark, thick, rich. It just kind of drips a little bit, and then it starts to stay in place and even dry, but it dries wet looking. It's that gel, and it's pretty darn amazing. There are also just the stage bloods that you'll find at the local shops. They usually come in about an 8-ounce container, and I think they range anywhere from like $10 to $12. So those are always good too. But note to self, those look kind of pinkish when they start to dry on the clothing, and sometimes even the actor themselves. You also have even stage blood. Sometimes you want the zombies to have the blood coming out of their mouths. This is the zesty mint flavor. So yeah, it still tastes like crap, but at least it's something that it's edible technically, and you can have the zombies get in their mouths, or your actor, maybe they got stabbed or they got shot or who knows what, and you can use this, and it's, as you can see, it's got a pretty good consistency and thickness, so it's pretty good stuff. But with that said, those are some of the makeups that I would highly suggest you start looking into. You can always, like I said, go the cheaper route and try the grease makeups. This is your typical like zombie setup, right? When I have like $5 up in the corner. That was probably like 3-4 years ago when I actually got this, when my actors brought this in to me. But it's kind of cool because you get the gory flesh that you can kind of start to make some kind of scar tissue on the face. You got your different creams that you can start to mess around with. It's a good thing, maybe just to, if you haven't done makeup, just to start testing the waters. But I think you're going to grow out of this pretty darn fast, and you're going to want to upgrade to something more like I was talking about, the Skin Illustrator, alcohol-based, or even the Pro Air Soba, which is, again, it's waterproof, but it's soap a removable base. So, and then again, it smells a lot better too. Now, some of my actors have actually complained even about that smell, but I'm like, guys, it smells nothing like isopropyl alcohol. So you got to jump on board. One other item you're definitely going to want to take a look at and getting into is liquid latex. It seems so simplistic, but it's used for like everything. And I will show you just one other thing right here. So I'm going to do another episode just on prosthetics alone because there's just too many to do. I could talk a whole hour or more on prosthetics, but this is one of the first pieces I ever got. And it's pretty cool, and it's still usable. And that's what I love about these. And when you don't have a budget, or a little to no budget, you got to work with what you got. And so I've used this, I think, on like 4 or 5 shoots. And you may say, well, how are you doing that? The edges are so thick and so forth. But there's ways of masking that when you get it up to the mouth, right? You can use tissue paper, very thin layers just around the edges, and it'll start to blend in a little bit to the face or whatever. And then after you get the makeup on and so forth, it's a little bit of fake blood, you got yourself a zombie. And I'll have a couple of pictures here just to kind of show some of the zombies that I used this prosthetic on. This is a foam prosthetic I happen to have right here. I will try and find the site. They actually stopped selling this particular one, but there still are sites out there that sell foam prosthetics. Foam ones are nice because they're super light, and they do the job, and they stick really well too. Sometimes with silicone and those gelatin ones, the sweat just loosens them a lot easier. So anyways, I just wanted to mention a little bit about the prosthetics. I'm going to do a whole episode on that coming up soon. I'll even talk one that does a little bit more information on blood. Also with prosthetics, you have to have the different types of adhesives to put those on. I will talk about those as well in the next episode. There's so much to get through, guys, and I just want to start taking you through this piece by piece. So far, at least I've given you the different types of makeup that you can start to use. And in the next episode, we'll start talking about application, and we'll show all the different items that we have in our assortment. I added some pictures in here to kind of show you all the different things that I've collected over the years that you may need actually as you start to get your little makeup process going for your films. So I don't care what anyone says, horror films, as simplistic as they may seem, they are the least simplistic ones to film, okay? Makeup and everything takes a ton of time. You need talented people to try and put it together. I am an amateur myself, but my zombies come out the way I want them to, and I'm very happy with that. And for those who don't like them or think they look fake, well, congratulations. I mean, this is my film, so jump on board and see what we have to offer. And there's a lot of different types of ways people present the zombies, and so I say, as a filmmaker, which you may be, or you want to become one, do them however you like, and learn over time and see what works for you and what looks good, and I think you'll get a process down over time, and you'll be very happy with the product. With that said, I am Mike with the Z-Man Show. This was just getting into the very beginnings of makeup, and so the next episodes we're going to show more about applications, like I was talking about earlier, and I'll show you a little bit more. I'll actually show you some stuff just right here on screen with me. I'll even have an episode where we try to do myself up as a zombie, which this is going to be very interesting because I've never done one live like this, but hey, we'll give it the old college try. So with that said, I am Mike with the Z-Man Show. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this episode, and I will be back very soon with more makeup on how to make a zombie film. See you guys.